Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. And I hope that you are actually seeing me clear and hear me clear. Alexandra Orid is here. Says, "Hi, Meran. Nice to be again here from last summer. How are you? Hi, everyone. Hello, Alex. If you don't mind, remind me of age, gender, and where you're tuning in from, especially if you haven't been here for a long time." Michael Logan is here, says, "Good evening from UK. Hello there." And Christian Vasilev, 16 male, Bulgaria. Thank you very much. Michael, add the credentials to your comment, please. Alexander, male, 34, Macedonia. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it when you guys let me know where you're situated, where you're located. It helps me to know a little bit of a cultural background, possibly if I know anything about that neck of the wood, and would help me to know your age, so I would be able to connect better. And of course, your gender would helps me to address you properly. And so these are all helpful to get us more acquainted in a way. Michael says your voice has gotten much lower. Is it a new microphone? Is it bad or good? I have a very expensive microphone gifted to me by my son long time ago, but recently I noticed that even though I use this when I see the uploads, the recordings, the sound quality is not good, while this microphone before used to record and sound was very, very good quality. So I know there's something wrong with the, maybe from the microphone to the recording, something doesn't, I guess it goes on the default to the laptop's microphone automatically. I don't know what happens. And we have Skimendel, Ben, 36, France. Bonjour ou bonsoir. Comment ça va aujourd'hui ou ce soir? And Skimendel says, "Hello, Monsieur Meran. Hello." Ben, is that for Benoit? So, Michael said 33, UK, United Kingdom, Lincolnshire male. Thank you for that, Michael. I appreciate that. Skimendel says, "I mean bonjour." Bonjour here, bonsoir there, I guess. Christian Vasilev says, "That's a strange question, but do you have tips for attention seeking?" Oh, do you want to seek attention or you don't want to seek attention? When you constantly give value to other people's opinion, regardless if they're expert in something or not, just the fact that it's not your opinion, it's their opinion about you, then you end up seeking the attention because you don't have enough validation and confidence in you, by you, created by you through your accomplishments and what you've learned, what your goals are in life. And therefore, you're relying for some kind of a fake or pretentious or not having done anything for it, like a handout, by people saying, "Oh, what a nice boy," or "what a nice guy," or whatever, to feel good about yourself. Bring that feeling good about yourself through your efforts, accomplishing your tasks, accomplishing the projects or the goals that you have, learning, educating yourself, to feel inwardly good about yourself because you have certain kind of talents and um, information and expertise in something, feeling that you can do things, you can accomplish things by having accomplished things, by having put efforts forward to prove to yourself that you are capable person, and that brings you the confidence and then releases you from seeking attention from other people. But when you don't do anything, you always think other people are better than you. So let me get some kind of a kudo from them, then that makes me feel good. That's nonsense. Setting you up, setting yourself up for disappointment, because as soon as they don't give you that, then now you're really feeling low and down because your whole mood depends on other people's opinion about yourself. Plus the fact that when you keep doing this, every time that somebody says, "Oh, what a nice person. Oh, you good looking. Oh, you so successful. Oh, you got all these kudos that comes from other people," what does it do to you? Yeah, it makes you feel good. But when it makes you feel good, what happens? You get feel good. So dopamine is secreted from your brain. That's why you feel good. Oh, good. Then after a while, you become addicted to this dopamine. How can I get it? By constantly hoping for some kind of a um, affirmation from other people, the attention that they give me. That gives me more dopamine. So no longer you're really seeking the attention. You're actually seeking to do something that could bring about the dopamine that you're addicted to now. And after a while, you're not even doing it for dopamine. You're doing it because it has become your habit. I have to get that person's attention. I have to get that person's because that makes me feel good. All of that gets mixed up and you kind of lose yourself from having the confidence internally, and you're always hanging on and you become a people pleaser. You become someone who will do anything just to get that attention, and just you become silly and useless. Skimandel says your microphone works great. Okay, good. Merci. Michael says, I watched one of your videos recently about being happier. You mentioned doing a little exercise. I have to admit, I do exercise once a day now, and it really helps. However, now when I don't do the exercise, I really feel the low. Well, then it's no different than telling me, oh, you told me that I better have a fruit every day. So I now have fruit every day and I feel really good. My tummy feels good. I go to the bathroom properly and I feel good. But the problem is when I don't have fruit now, I don't feel good. Well, yeah. Or I eat good food and I feel very satisfied and I don't feel hungry all the time because it was a good balance of protein and carbohydrates and I ate at the right times and so on. But now the problem is that when I don't do that, I feel hungry. Well, what the hell? Yeah. So what's the point, Vanessa? Yeah, that's the expression. It doesn't mean that you're Vanessa. Says, any tips in getting started on meditation? You just play the ping pong. This is what I call ping pong. You're talking about something else, and suddenly you talk about something else. You're talking about, doing exercise. Yeah. Now you're talking about, okay, if I don't do it, I feel low. Do you have any tips about meditation? Do meditation. What tips do you want? Or maybe you're asking for a tip. I don't know. There's some change here. I give you some tips. Says, any tips in getting started on meditation? Because I totally suck at it. My mind is so sporadic. Yeah, okay, I understand now. Well, the trick for meditation is just do 1 minute a day. 1 Minuten. 1 minute. You can do that. We can do 1 minute right now. We can do breathing meditation, all of us together for 1 minute. And all you have to do is this: notice the flow of the air and imagine the flow of the air. So notice and imagine the movement of the air into your nostril, and notice and imagine and feel the exhaling, the flow of the air coming out of your nostril or your mouth when you exhale. So notice, feel, and imagine. Notice that is happening, feel, senses feeling the movement, and imagine, see it actually, that is moving in when you breathe in. And same thing, notice, feel it as it moves, feel the flow of it, and imagine when you exhale out of your mouth or your nose. So it will look like this, simple. No difference in your breathing system, just notice it. In other words, sit here, we all notice it together. Just a normal breathing, only add the noticing parts. Feel, I feel the air flowing through. I imagine it flowing through. I notice it flowing through. In other words, I stay with the flow of the air when I breathe. I stay with the breathing and I notice everything about it. So, notice the molecules, particulars, anything that you can notice, imagine of it that is flowing in. Stay with it. Stay with that breathing in. Stay with that breathing out. Breathe in, out. You can do it as a smaller breathing or extend the duration of it. If it's small, it will be like normal breathing, but you're aware of its movement. You're staying with it. Nobody knows you're meditating, but you're just there, breathing while you're focusing on it. So you give the breathing a thought process. Thought process is noticing the breathing. That's all. You become aware of existence of this action of breathing and the flow of it, and you stay with it. That's all. And then if you wanted to go advanced later on, first of all, you can increase the 1 minute to 2, or however you feel like it. You will naturally want to increase it rather than saying, oh, I have to increase it. It's not enough. No, when you do 1 minute and then after a few days or whenever you feel like, oh, it's really pleasant, you decide to increase it. And that stays very, very, very good. Very, very, very good. That stays very natural for you. And then later on, you can actually enhance it even further, not by just increasing the duration of you instead of the breathing, instead of 1 minute to 2 minutes or 3 minutes or whatever you feel like it. You can also extend the duration of each breath. So then it will end up looking like, instead of normal breathing meditation, it will be a little bit longer breathing. As long as your mind stays with the breathing, focuses, notices, imagines, and feels the breathing, whether it's going in or whether it's coming out, that is a meditation. Because mindful breathing, mindful exercises, and believe it or not, it's going to relax you beyond your beliefs. As I'm talking, the idea that your mind starts focusing on one thing, because that's what it does, meditation. It brings about, gathers around your mind, instead of being all scattered all over the place and thinking about all different kind of things and no direction, gives it one thing. And when it becomes singular thinking, while an action is happening, you will find the ripples of the mind decreased to infinitely imperceptible decreasing ripples, which calms the mind, which rejuvenates you, allows more compatibility with the frequency of the movement of the energy of the universe, key of the universe, and you feel really good, really, really good, to the point that you'll see nothing is happening in your head, in your brain anymore. And you don't want it. You're just perfectly as if you don't exist. You melt into the universe. There is no me anymore. It's only universe. I go back to source. No thoughts, no biology. Just awareness. I'm telling you, we have all neglected our natural state of being. We are so bombarded with all the bullshit of life, all the political nonsense, all the garbage manipulations, all the economic bullshit. Everything stops when you actually return to source, to nature. Become the universe. Become the nature. Even though for a few minutes, the effects of it is infinite. Bye bye, guys. I want to be here. No place better than there. All right. So, coming back to Earth, we have we have Ed Clark with the super chat, which is appreciated to support the channel. Thank you for that. Ed says, "Buy a coffee from me, Mehrano." Well, Ed, do you want to take your money back because I don't drink coffee? Can I have tea instead? Hang on, let me change the background because I love to have my tea in Hawaii cup. So now I think there we go. So Ed says, always great to see you and learn great wisdom. Oh, my pleasure. Thank you very much, Ed. I appreciate your spending your time with us and being here and supporting the channel as well. So we have Christian says, thanks. And says, I think I got it. Okay, good. And Skimendel says, my ex is very attractive. After I broke up with her, she's sharing her best new profile pictures everywhere. She knows that it's gonna piss me off and maybe expect any reaction from me. I keep calm and focus on myself during months. Now she tries to reach out with sharing stuffs like our best music, etc. I know that she's having contact with many men to get attention and handle her loneliness. Don't know if it's just to make me sick and get my attention for her ego, or really want to communicate back with me. Well, if she's not communicating directly with you by sending you a personal message, then what she posts on her Facebook or whatever it is, it shouldn't mean anything other than what it is to you. Don't interpret it. Don't try to read between the lines as if they are in higher echelon and we are too little to communicate with us directly. They're just sending messages. Don't treat in your mind. Don't treat them like that. Then you begin to believe that they're better than you, and you have to just crawl and beg and hope for something that, to begin with, is not qualified to meet your standards. You need to grow a pair and realize that there's so many beautiful women on this earth, not just in France, which is amazing, beautiful women in France, but they're everywhere in the world. There is no shortage of beautiful women. But the beautiful woman, biologically, physically, is not what you really have the relationship with. There has to be compatibility and bonding on consciousness level. If that is not happening, I don't care how beautiful she is. It wouldn't work. You would actually lose interest after a few times making love, having sex. Then what else is there? There's nothing else if there was nothing else. If there is no connection on the consciousness level, if there is no compatibility on the mental level, once you get over that novelty of sexual intimacy with that girl, then it's an empty relationship. How many times a day can you simply hope to have sex? You know, yes, at different ages we are having different capabilities, but what about the time available? How many times a day, how much time a day do you have in order to do that? And how many times can you do that? And for how long can you do that? So eventually, that would not seem to be the way to keep a relationship going if that's the only thing that the relationship is based on. What about the interaction, energy interaction, compatibility, building something together, having similar goals, similar outlook to life, hopefulness, positiveness, discipline, preparation, basic values of life? All of these is what make you as a human being to be able to connect with another human being. Otherwise, our connection with other human beings would be as it was a million years ago. Instinct. Sex. Maybe if we need help to hunt something, some companionship. That's it. Just like animals do. But we've evolved and have been bestowed upon us or blessed with or cursed with the brain that we have today, which is highly sophisticated, very helpful in doing things and learning things and in creating things and accomplishing things and figuring out things and so on. And at the same time, very destructive, because our brain now, for the first time since 40,000 years ago, is capable of thinking and speaking. Before that, there wasn't me. We existed for millions of years, but yet we could not speak or think. Since that kind of a brain has been given to us or developed into what it is today, we've been able to think and speak, which thinking is the roots of all problems. We have all kind of mental issues, all because we're thinking. Most mental issues are about negative thinking. OCD, HOCD, other subsets of OCD, pedophilia OCD, harm OCD, responsibility OCD. All these are thought-based problems. They're not biological problems or challenges. So thinking, thoughts are the roots of all problems. So if you understand that, then you will see that there has to be a connection between two people on consciousness level, communication level, feeling and energy level, so we can bond and possibly build a relationship that can continue based on certain solid or shared foundations and values. Otherwise, basing on biological compatibility, that runs out after a few months, 6 months, a year, tops, not even a year. Because at the beginning, we all are infatuated with each other. We want to have sex all the time. And 6 months to a year, less than a year, continuously having sex with your girlfriend, you eventually don't have that interest that you did have on day one or day two or month one or month two. Then what else is left to keep this relationship together? Nothing. If you don't have the bonding on conscious level, you don't have anything. So you need to understand, just because she looks pretty and flaunts it around here, it may entice you to approach her and instigate an introduction, which is what we all do, but then there has to become more. That physical interaction, physical attraction to each other is a prelude to getting to know each other, not that that is actually getting to know each other. Then if you don't get to know each other while that sex or intimacy is still novel, then once that runs out, you've got nothing else to actually have based your relationship or justified that relationship to continue. So let her go ahead and keep putting those pictures on. She's got nothing over than you other than the fact that you're programmed for procreation and you appreciate beautiful women. Naturally, it's going to turn you on. But that's what all beautiful women do. It's not, limited to her. So there's nothing really special about her. It's just the fact that you've been there, you know her, and you've made love to her. So it reminds you and triggers you back to reborn the desire. And desire has few steps that I've explained to my videos in regards to desire and how to stop it or what desire is. There are few prerequisite steps for desire to be born. And every time you see her picture, it's not that she's novel, oh my goodness. When you see the picture, it takes you to the memory. In the memory, the prerequisites for desire have been recorded. That picture is the trigger to point you towards that file of desire for her in the memory, and automatically all the steps for prerequisite for desire has been recorded and they will be reactivated. Therefore, you think that you desire her. You think that you just accomplished or fulfilled all the steps for desiring her again. You didn't. It was in the memory, and the memory make it look like that they have been refreshed, because the brain has no understanding of difference between virtuality and actuality. So if a file is triggered in the brain, it thinks that, oh, I have to now react to it the way it was recorded, and I reacted then when these prerequisite steps were fulfilled and replenished. So you react to, oh, I desire her, because seeing her pictures triggers the file that contains the prerequisite steps for desire about her to be fulfilled. So you think it's fulfilled. So then you desire her. Otherwise, so pretty picture. Look at it as a pretty picture. How many beautiful pictures you see in the magazines or internet during the day of beautiful women that you never know? You look at it, you admire it, wish for it, and you go on to next subject, whatever it is that you're trying to look for, and some pictures and so on is also there. But you pass by. But because this one you have memory and feelings and files and recorded, that picture doesn't stop as a beautiful picture of a woman. It contains certain kind of memories and pleasures attached to it, and all that triggers the desire and so on and so forth. So unless she really actually contacts you or expresses willingness, don't offer. Once you keep offering to your girlfriend things that she hasn't asked for, then what you're offering to her worths just that much, zero, because she didn't ask for it. Even though it's amazing, it's a gift or something beautiful you buy for her or you do for her, but because she didn't ask for it, the credit that she gives you in her mind is not much. She feels entitled to it, because you need to wait until your girlfriend asks for it, then you do it for her. She knows that you did something that she asked for it and you complied. To her, wow, what a relationship, what a boyfriend she has. But you keep doing it, she treats it as, well, that's expected. Keep doing it, yeah. That's a boyfriend and that's a girlfriend. She says, well, he has to do it. You training her that you don't have to do anything, say anything, want anything, ask for anything. I'll do everything for you. And that's a problem. You take your girlfriend out of the category of human being and you put her on pedestal and treat her as a princess without qualifications. I have no problem treating your woman as a goddess, but if she deserves it, if she actually qualifies for that. But if you just keep doing it because you're horny and you're turned on and you're kind of bribing her in order to pay attention to you, that's fake. And she's going to just run away to somebody else because she feels, oh, she's too good for you. Why? Because she doesn't have much confidence in herself. And she says, well, if I don't think I'm much, he's so much paying attention to me. I don't think I'm much. He thinks I'm so much. But I don't think I am. So that means he's not much. And if he's not much, I don't want somebody who's not much. Suddenly, you shoot yourself in the foot. All right, said enough of that. Breathe through. Bottom says H. Is H supposed to mean high? Built differences, my libido could be gone as well. I don't know where you guys coming from with all those comments. Says, I'm scared that I'm not scared. Well, listen, I have a video that is in the same title. Says, I'm scared that I'm no longer shocked of intrusive thoughts. That's probably the answer for your question, which is easier for me to put this down here. The link is here for you. You can watch it. Birthouse says, I'm 30, male, 32, India. Thank you for this. Says, how much time meditation needed to be practiced every day? As much as you feel like it, especially at the beginning. 1 minute. You feel good, you want to continue, 2 minutes. Just continue until you feel good. Short amounts, and then every day or a few times a day, but just 1 minute. That will put you into that groove. Then later on, you will enjoy it and you will make it 2 minutes or 3 minutes or 5 minutes or 10 minutes, depending on how deep you're into it, how much you enjoy it, and let it be natural. There's no time limit for it. Just do it as long as you want, then you open your eyes whenever you feel like it's enough, or stay in there for as long as you want. There was time I used to do 1 hour a day because I enjoyed it. Sometimes it was half an hour, 15 minutes, depending on. It's up to you. There's no specific hour, but it has to be continued at least for 6 months until you start seeing, wow, things are changing in your life. Skimenda says it's so obsessing. I would like to forget her and stop being bothered about what she does and connect with, but her behaving doesn't get at all. No, it's not her behaving, it's the way you're programmed. We're all programmed to react to beautiful girl. So all you have to do is to go beyond it and say, look, there's so many beautiful girls around, but she's not for me. She broke up with me, so I move on. That's it. Otherwise, it's not what she does, it's your desire for procreation, for intimacy, you know. So just learn that if it's like walking in the street, you see so many beautiful women, what are you going to do? You're going to go and grab their hands? No. You understand that that girl is beautiful, but it's not for you. She's not offering friendship to you. So you don't bother, you just pass by. Same thing. This one also is one of those that you got to pass by. Unless she makes certain kind of a clear, you know, signals and comes forward, and let her ask for it. And Skimenda says, thank you for the breathing exercise. You're quite welcome. If you go on my channel, search engine of the channel, and just click on or put the word meditate, you will have a bunch of meditation, guided meditation that we've done on live streams, and then you can enjoy it and meditate with me there on the video. Zelchko Babik says, hi, my wife goes, Zelchko, I need age, gender, where you're tuning in from. I know the gender, you said my wife, but the age and which country. And then I'll come back to your question. Oh, Croatia. Says, I'm from Croatia. My English is not so good. Obviously, it is good because I can understand it. Everything fine. But I need your age. Says, my wife goes away with our 2-year-old son. I neglected her in our marriage, but in some time I was okay with her. She goes away before 1 year. I still love her, but she don't want to come back. Some advice, please. I'm from Croatia, and my English is not so good. Your English is fine. I understand. Well, you know, for these kind of discussions, you guys need to go on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com. Mindthatseekstruth.com. Make an appointment for a Skype consultation with me. And as a new client, you register for 1 hour. I will throw in another hour. We'll have 2 hours, plenty of time to discuss what's concerning you one-on-one on Skype. Otherwise, here, it's not interactive, and I really don't know enough of what happened. What did you do? What did she do? How she lived? All these things need discussion. So there's no formula that I can tell you, and I can't tell you to move on or don't move on because I don't know what's happening there. But if you want to make an appointment, please do, and we'll discuss it. Michael Logan says, that was a wonderful example. It felt really calming and actually a bit emotional, almost crying. Okay. Thank you. I'm going to do this in the morning from now on instead of staring at the window, worrying. Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, in my class, when I was teaching martial arts, and meditation was a big part of it, I had modified the meditation that I was taught to a level that it was very effective, more effective, because the mind It's always moving around, and it's hard for it to just don't do anything and try to stare or something. It has to have a mandate to do one thing. So, pretty much in meditation, instead of just doing nothing, which is very difficult for the mind to do nothing, it's much easier to bring everything that the mind does all scattered around to do one thing. If you give it a mandate to do one thing, it can be easily focused on that one thing. Then you just tell it, do nothing. It doesn't know what nothing is. It knows what one thing is. And that one thing, whatever it is, it will do a good job for you. So I changed one of the meditations I added to the array of meditation sites that we had. And in that meditation, your mind would be very easily focused, because mind finds security in occupation. When you tell it do nothing, it doesn't find its security because it's got nothing to do. It doesn't know what to do. It's looking for something to attach itself. But when you actually tell it clearly what to do, then it puts everything else aside and does that. And that doing one thing is when it focuses and concentrates itself and relaxes, because it's got no business happening all over the place. There's only one thing, and it can handle one thing easily. So one thing compared to so many things to the mind is doing nothing and relaxing. But you tell it do nothing, it doesn't know what nothing is. It's looking for, what is that nothing that I shouldn't be not doing it? That itself creates lots of opening up, backing down, think about something, nothing. Oh, I shouldn't be thinking about that. Oh, I shouldn't be thinking about that. I shouldn't be thinking. But if you tell it what to think, it will do it. And that what to think is equal of doing none of the other stuff. So you settle for one thing instead of nothing, which takes all those other things that is busy with and puts them all aside logically and accepts it and does one thing, which is perfect, from that much to nothing. Pretty much nothing, one thing. But if you tell it nothing, it doesn't know what nothing is. So it becomes much more difficult for it. Pretty much there is usually never nothing, because it's doing something and considers it nothing, but it's in comparison to all other things. Anyhow, we're going too much into it right now, so you might go confused now. All right. Sipu Raku says, Ayo, I have few questions. Ayo? Who's Ayo? And Sipu says, first, hello. I like your content. Okay. That's a good start. Thank you. Second, I got over that girl. Well, hey, before first, second, third. Age, gender, where you tuning in from? Your age, your gender, and where you tuning in from. Okay, I understand that you got over that girl. That means you're a guy. And says, thank God. Okay. Says, but I can't stop thinking about her. That's your fault, not her fault. And she dumped me. Don't use negative words on yourself. When you say she dumped me, you already dubbed her higher than you. And that's going to play in your mind, that you will always think, I've lost something that was better than you. Why? Because you said it. She dumped me. That means you deserve, or you can, or somebody can dump you. That means that girl is better than you. You already accept it. Involuntarily or voluntarily, you brainwash yourself. She dumped me. You already put her higher. And that makes it more difficult to walk away, because how can I easily walk away when I think somebody is higher than me? First, you must focus that she's no longer qualified to have your attention. Why? Because she's not here. She's this reason, that our relationship didn't work out. All these reasons causes her not to be qualified anymore. I disqualify her. I unwant her. That brings her down to at least equal level. Then you judge based on what qualifications she did or did not have, and then you, based on that, make a decision for that relationship. Well, as soon as she dumped me, that means you're no good, she's good. 6 months ago, I don't want to have anything again with her. I don't see her. Okay, good. Then what's the problem? Focus not on her, on so many other women that are amazing and much better quality for you in general than she was. So you don't have to focus on. The reason you're focusing on her because you have a file, you have a memory on her, and you think you know her, and you think it's easier, and you don't want to spend all that energy to go through all those steps to get to know somebody else. These are all mistakes. Life is a river; it's continuous. So as long as you continue, it's a new person, new nothing, new relationship, not the old thing. Your life is continuing. But once you keep looking at something, it's no different than you standing, in front of a river and you're looking at some part of the water that something we was carrying something, maybe I don't know, a orange peel or some kind of a flower that was on the water or whatever it was. It's carrying it and it's gone, and you keep looking at it. It's gone. What are you looking at? It keeps getting further and further, and you say, ah, it's going further. Ah, please. No, instead, turn your head around this way to the part of the water that is coming towards you. Say, that thing is coming toward me. I better get ready to catch it. So there's hopefulness. Things are coming. You keep looking at a girlfriend that broke up with you and keep looking and thinking about her is no different than that thing on the water that is just keep going, and you're wishing for it. Instead of turning around, looking at all the possibilities that the world has to give you, so many amazing other women available in the world, and admiring them and going to meet with them and somehow introduce yourself. That is looking at the water coming towards you and the banks of a river, versus looking at something that is already gone. And the reason for it to be gone is because it wasn't suitable for you to keep holding on to it. So somehow you or her or both decided that this should be going. So it's going, let it go. Turn your head around this way where things are coming, approaching, and they decide on that. Those are possibilities. That's the past. Past doesn't exist. Why do you keep following the past? Following the past, and past doesn't exist, is dead. That means following death, following nothing, following something that doesn't exist. Where does that get you? Look at something that is approaching, that you have a chance to interact with it. That's looking upriver that is coming towards you, not downriver that is already gone. So look at the things that are out there and go explore, introduce yourself, rather than look at something that is already finished its duration. He says, but I can't stop thinking about her, bro. Well, that's what you say. When you say I can't, then you won't. When you switch that word to say I can stop thinking about her, because it's up to me. How? By simply thinking about other girls, thinking about things that I want to accomplish in life, thinking about building my life, thinking about how happy I am if I have a better girlfriend, thinking about the things that was not compatible between you and her. That's what you should be thinking. It's not about you can't stop. When you say I can't, therefore you won't. I can, therefore you can. Change that first and then go on with it. All right, the rest of the words that you're using, I don't understand. Mr. DKB21, USA male 27. Hi, Mehran. I thought that is HI is for Hawaii. I said, oh my goodness, from my hometown. Says, hi, Mehran. Why do people who hurt you don't apologize? Because they're assholes. What are you talking about? It's like saying, why a thief that just entered my home and robbed me when I was at home, why doesn't it come and say, hey, sir, I'm sorry, I'm the thief that robbed your home? He's a thief. He's not going to confess to that. So the people who hurt you are subhumans. If you haven't done anything and they want to hurt you, not retaliate something shitty you did to them, then they're just assholes. And you expect a thief to come and apologize for what he was doing and he knew what he was doing. If it's accidental, somebody accidentally trips you and you fall and says, oh, I'm sorry. But if they planned on it and they tripped you, they devised a certain kind of a device that tripped you, or they purposely stood there and tripped you, you're not going to apologize. And you expect them, the person who actually intended to trip you, to come and say, oh, I'm sorry. Why would he say that? He's an asshole. He intended to do that. So expecting that from someone who's done wrong on purpose is illogical. You're wasting your time. Move on. What do you want the apology for? Because you can't bring yourself to the fact that they're assholes. You want everybody to like you. No, that's an asshole. I don't want to have anything to do with him or her, whatever. You know, people are people. You got to see who they are rather than painting a picture in your head about them, which is not deserving them, whether this way or that way. Okay. Zeljiko and Sipu are talking. I think they're both from Croatia then, because I don't understand what they're saying. And I keep thinking, is it for me? I don't get it. Mm-hmm. Zeljikos is 44 years old. Okay, thank you very much. Ben Gulpur says, hey, can OCD thought, hey, can I have first your gender, age, and where you're tuning in from? Or did you, Ben? Did you already respond to that? With every question or comment, please include that three little things: M for male, age, and where you're tuning in from, or F for female, age, and where you're tuning from. Well, however you signify your gender, whatever it is, put that in first, and then age, and then the gender. I mean, the where you're tuning in from. So I don't have to go hunt for it. Ben says, hey, can OCD thought can be real? What are you talking about? OCD thought be real? OCD itself is not real. It's obsessive compulsive what? Disorder. So, and you want the thought of it to be real. I don't understand what you mean, the thought to be real. or OCD thoughts are always lie? You have judgment. You can see it, you know. It's like saying, does this person is telling the truth or lie? Well, it depends on what it's saying. Like, you check the door to be locked 100 times, so OCD telling you it's not locked, go check it. Or maybe your thought says, no, it's don't worry, it's locked. It depends. What are you talking about? Specific question. Specific question. I mean, yeah, question. Emmanuel Geronimo says, hello, I'm a 18-year-old male from New York, USA. Oh, thank you for that. Welcome. Welcome to my lair, as Dr. Evil would say. Ben Golpur says, hey, I'm 24 years old, suffer from OCD. OCD thoughts can be real or always OCD to lie. You know, you got to understand what OCD is and what kind of OCD do you have. The OCD is a big field, big subject. It's a washing hand OCD, checking the oven OCD, lock OCD, pedophilia OCD, harm OCD, responsibility OCD, sexual orientation OCD. What OCD are you talking about? But it's not a question to be asked like that. Obviously, is obsessive compulsive disorder. You got to understand it's a malfunction of the signaling system of the brain. That is what it is. So, in a malfunction, again, what is it saying in regards to what? What sentences or ideas are being suggested? Then you will research that. It's not like, is it always lie or is it always true? Doesn't make sense. Depends on what it is saying. OCD is a condition, it's not an entity. Emmanuel says, can sound help with OCD? Please explain. I don't understand what you mean. You mean, can sound help OCD to go away? Like sound waves, music, notations, like the old Mayans and Aztecs were healing illnesses with resonance of sound. Is that what you mean? Aman Gadpal says, hey, Mehran. Hello, Aman. Aman says, my name is Marshall Mathers. I'm an alcoholic. What's wrong with you, Aman, today? What is this nonsense you're saying? Aman, are you high? What's happening? What are you talking about? I have a disease, they don't know what to call it. What's wrong with you? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Better hide your wallet because I come in stripping your cash. Aman, don't be silly. Now you're saying lol, Eminem song. Look, it's a serious program. So if you're in a goofy mood, well, say, I want to sing what Eminem sings, then we all enjoy it. But putting this much time that I try to hunt it, what it means, it's kind of a silly game. I don't expect that from you. You know better. Emmanuel says sound waves. I see. Well, if you understand what OCD is involved in OCD, what is involved, what parts of the brain are involved in OCD, with humongous amount of research they've done, but the research still continues. if sound waves can stimulate certain part of the brain that is malfunctioning to function, yeah, why not? Great. But I don't know about that research. And I don't know about that possibility, but everything is possible naturally. But you need to look at also what are the involvements of different parts of the brain. Understanding the role of prefrontal cortex, the role of amygdala, role of striatum, role of the reward center, goal center, and habit center, role of caudate nucleus. If you understand all these and you have a good idea, and if sound waves can help regulate what's missing, sometimes it's the lack of neurotransmitters of some kind. It depends on what kind of OCD and what we're talking about. Again, the research is always continuing, and I don't have proper information on that. Ben says, I diagnosed with HOCD, intrusive thoughts, make me so anxious. If I have HOCD, it's proof I'm straight. Yeah, true. That's as actually what I've always been saying. HOCD is a sexual orientation OCD, which can hit any sexuality. It can be a malfunction that causes HOCD in a homosexual or in a heterosexual. Any gender, it could experience OCD in the different subsets of OCD. HOCD is one of them. So it's not limited to a certain gender. It's a mental glitch and disorder, and everybody has a brain. So, and the brain of a human being is all one and the same, as much as we can tell the function of it, structure of it, material used is all the same, and the uh, model number is the same. The mechanism is the same, so its malfunction is the same. Doesn't matter what gender you are, it malfunctions in any brain. And so, but the interesting thing is that if you were born in an island and you didn't know your sexuality, you had never seen any other human being, and let's say you're hit with some kind of intrusive thoughts, HOCD, then the opposite of what you're being hit, what being suggested by your brain is what your gender is actually, because HOCD never uh, comes in the form of complying or in line with your values. It always hits you by suggestions and thoughts that are opposite of your values. So if it suggests to you that you're homosexual thoughts, that means you're heterosexual. If you're homosexual and hits you with heterosexual thoughts, well, that means you're definitely that's what you are. We have always been. So so that's something that is universal pretty much, because look, a heterosexual man, if a thought comes to him, said that you're good looking and all the girls like you, so thank you, or you love girls, yes, thank you, but that's the end of the discussion. There's no intrusive thoughts or no remuneration, no rumination or anything like that. So naturally, it has to be something against your values. So when intrusive thoughts hits you, they hit you with something that is against your value in order to create a certain kind of a rise and defensiveness and interaction and dialogue, because the brain finds its security in occupation. And when the brain is not busy, especially in this pandemic time, so many people were hit with HOCD because the brain is not following its usual routine and the order of lives have been destroyed or or disturbed. Therefore, brain wants to create that busyness that it had normally doing its normal daily routines. Now it doesn't have it, but it needs that security and can only get that security through occupation, being busy. How can it make you busy if it compliments you? It compliments you, say, oh, you're good looking, all girls like you, or you love girls, or that girl's leg is so beautiful. Yeah, that's the end of the conversation. You can't be busy with that kind of a comment. But if it tells you something that is not in line with your values, you rise up, you start defending, you start, arguing with it. How dare you? What do you mean? No, I'm this. My background was this. I like this. You start thinking. These are things that creates that busyness and occupation, and the brain gets busy again because all the other things is being cut. Now, sometimes it happens when things like this, such as the world today, happens, and that triggers HOCD, and often it happens for no reason, because that's what HOCD say: malfunction in the signaling system of the brain. So therefore, but when things like this happens and you're not busy, that affects lots more people that he wouldn't have. Yeah, Ben, yeah, that's one of the scenarios. Yeah, you need to focus on understanding of and educate yourself about the mechanism of OCD and HOCD and its logic for the malfunctioning brain, and what are the components involved in that. That's again another discussion that you can have with your therapist, and you're always welcome to go on my channel, mindthatseekstruth.com, make a Skype chat appointment for us, and we'll discuss and explore together, one-on-one on Skype. Aman, you can like any song. Song is not just lyrics that you should focus on. The rhythm of a song can make you interested, and then you put lyrics on it. And if the lyrics are not something that one would normally be interested, then one questions, why am I interested? Well, you're interested in the whole song as a whole, not the lyric or this word or that word or this note. It's a note and music and creates emotions and so on, and then the words comes in, whether you like the words or not, but you may like the sound. So you stop asking yourself question. If you want to question every goddamn thing that happens in your life, you'll be constantly trying to analyze everything. You won't live. You must learn, as I always said, one of the big problems with OCD, HOCD, and whatnot is that we live in conclusions instead of observation and living. We tend to be gravitating toward a conclusion state. And in order to find that conclusion, we constantly question, data hunt forever and ever, because there is no conclusion for anything. But you're seeking conclusion. In seeking that conclusion, you're wasting your life and time, and you come up with all kinds of confusion, misunderstanding, and so on, because you're in search of a certain conclusion. I'm saying to you, the secret to life is to stop conclusions and just observe life. Observe life. A thought of that came, okay, I observed that thought. I don't give a shit about it because it's not in line with my values. I observed it. Just like if I'm walking in the street and I see, I don't know, a naked guy running around, I say, oh, fuck that. But if I see a naked woman running, okay, look at it. So it's like observing. Don't try to find a conclusion. Oh, I saw a naked guy. Oh, that means I looked at it. So that means I have an itch. No, you look at anything. Your eyes look at anything. It doesn't mean whatever your eyes has the capability to see, it does not interpret who you are, or it doesn't interpret your identity. It's a capability that the eye has to see, but what it sees does not represent you. A thought shows up, the same thing. Thought, brain has a capability of making thoughts. But just because it can make thoughts, that doesn't mean those thoughts have anything to do with you or relevant to you or describe you or identify you. You simply observe thoughts, you observe things in the street, you observe and you pass by. You go on about your business. When you know it is or it is not in line with your values, that's the end of it. You don't need a conclusion. Why was this guy naked running around? I have to figure. I don't give a shit. I saw something. I'm not interested. I passed by. I saw something. I'm interested. That's different reaction. But you're trying to find conclusion and reasoning for everything that is not in line with your values and you're not interested. It's a waste of your life. That's why I say don't look for conclusion when you see things or thoughts shows up. You just simply observe things and observe thoughts and recognize, become aware, and then you will quickly know that if the brain is doing its job, automatically shutting it down, it's not in line with your values or not. If it is, fine, you go on. If it doesn't, you just don't pay attention to it and you go on with what does interest you and what is of importance to you, or whatever you want to accomplish. Emmanuel says, is it normal for HOCD to control thoughts to make them gay? That's what HOCD is. What the fuck are you talking about? if it wasn't suggesting things that were not in line with your value, you wouldn't even be concerned about it. Look, guys, in these live streams, we can only quickly say things, but I have hundreds of videos elaborately, meticulously describes and discusses the interpretation of thoughts in one playlist and the other playlist. It proves to you beyond the shadow of the doubt that there is a separation between brain and you. When you understand and watch those videos, which is, in my opinion, the foundation of understanding how you can go on and understand how nonsense HOCD is to understand the separation between brain and you, between the thoughts that the brain makes and the thoughts that you use the apparatus of the brain to make. Those are your thoughts. But there are 80, 90,000 thoughts a day that the brain makes that has nothing to do with you, irrelevant to you. Those are brain's thoughts. And knowing that you're not the brain and brain is not you, it sets you free that you allow and accept thoughts to exist, but they are irrelevant to you, meaningless to you. Just because a thought shows up, that doesn't and it's in the screen of your head, that doesn't mean it represents you or it has a mandate or some deities or some message. It just means that's what its job is to do, make thoughts. And those thoughts are supposed to be automatically dissipating out of your brain by the mechanisms that you have. But when those mechanisms malfunction, then those thoughts hover and they stay and they don't disappear. And you think, oh, because they haven't disappeared, they must mean something about me. They don't. Einen Moment bitte. All right. Und dann we have yeah, don't underestimate the power of the brain. The brain is so powerful that can, when it goes into the glitch of OCD or HOCD, it makes so many different suggestions and thoughts that are totally bogus and irrelevant to you and nonsense. But it's so powerful that makes you think as if it is actually what the facts are, but it's not. Very simple. It's so powerful that can make you think that something that it doesn't even exist exists. No different than a simple exercise of imagining you're in France in a vineyard and it's out of season. All grapes are green and sour like hell, and you just take a couple and put it in your mouth and break it. It clicks in hard green grapes and sour like God knows what, and then you chase it with a lime or lemon you cut and squeeze it in your mouth. And when you think of all that, you start salivating. Why do you salivate? There is no green grape or sour grape. There is no lemon or lime here in your mouth. But the brain doesn't understand the difference between virtuality and actuality. It thinks of something and it can believe it's right. It's what it is. And then makes the body react to it, just like makes the body, your saliva, to be secreted when there is no lime or sour grape. Hmm? So the same thing, when you conjure up the thought about something that is not in line with your values and it's got nothing to do with you, but your body reacts to, because the body understands the association of the words to the actual concept of sex. It doesn't care about what sex the brain is introducing. It just goes to the concept and reacts to that, because body is programmed to react to the concept of sex, whatever that is for you. But because the thought showed up that is not in line with your values, but the body is reacting because of the concept of sex, not the topic of the thought, then you think, oh my goodness, I reacted to what the thought was suggesting. No, you reacted to the concept, not the actual suggestion of the thoughts, the detail of the thoughts. So these are many things that one can discuss. So you're welcome to make an appointment and we'll discuss it. Nothing, Ben. It doesn't matter. It's a young guy, old guy, whatever. It makes no difference whatsoever. It's a glitch of the suggestion of the brain, signaling system of the brain. It can come in any. It's like saying, "Oh, what about pedophilia? It's not this, but it's all in the same category. It's intrusive thoughts. It could be this, it could be that, it could be pedophilia, it could be harm, it could be responsibility, it could be sexual orientation, it could be all kinds of things. It's all in the same field of sexual orientation, OCD, and the other substance of OCD. The topic of it is irrelevant. The fact that it's of the intrusive kind, it's something that it's not in line with your values. It's something that is irrelevant to you. That's the one you should focus on. Not, oh, but this is not that regular way of, no, it's all doesn't matter. Topic doesn't matter. Intrusivity of it, intrusivity. The fact that it's intrusive is the one that should be focused on. Meaning what kind is not to focus on it. Aman, you know better. There are two playlists. One is called Intrusive Thoughts, Transient Thoughts, OCD, HOCD, Negative Thoughts. In this playlist, interpretation of thoughts are are discussed. Interpretation of the intrusive thoughts. In the other playlist, intrusive OCD, HOCD short videos, in this playlist, separation between brain and you is discussed. And a very informative video that I have, which you all have hopefully seen it by now, which is You Are Not the Brain. And I would like to put the link in here. You are not. And the You Are Not the Brain is a video I prepared based on research of Dr. Egnar. And I've just enhanced it a little bit. So it's a little bit long, but it's packs lots of information. It's packed with lots of information that you want to know and to understand how clearly you can see separation between brain and you, just as it was discussed 1,000 years ago by Aristotle and was refuting the silly idea of materialism, which was talking about atoms or void. There's either something or nothing. But then dualism was talking about there are aspects of the mind and you that the brain cannot even reach. Not even that you're not the brain, brain is not you. It also shows and proved with the experiments that was done by brilliant neurosurgeons and neuroscientists by the modern science that is now proven beyond the shadow of the doubt that you're not the brain and brain is not you. And for that reason, I've created this video to help you with the information that it might help you to understand your relationship with your brain, rather than taking your brain as if it's you and then get bamboozled when it malfunctions. You don't get bamboozled when your intestine malfunctions. You don't get bamboozled when your kidney malfunctions. You still know there's a kidney and there's you. It's not the same. But once the brain is malfunctions, oh, that must be me then. It's just like saying, oh, my intestine is malfunction. Oh, that must be me then. That's what I've always wanted, not what I've always enjoyed, the balance that I had in my intestine. But now that it has diarrhea, that's what the real thing is. That's the same malfunction discussion or example pretty much as what the brain also has been functioning in a certain way for you as it originally was. And now it's suggesting something contrary to what is your inclination, what has been your inclination, what is your preferences, and what you feel you identify with. But suddenly now you're supposed to be what? Accepting what the brain says instead of recognizing this as a malfunction of the brain. As you recognize the malfunction of any other part of your body when it goes rogue and when it goes outside of what has been its default function. But suddenly when it comes to brain, you just believe the brain with the new malfunction to be your default. That's pretty stupid, isn't it? So you need to understand the separation between brain and you, to not to be bamboozled by these things that is created because of the glitch of the malfunction. Guys, it looks like we don't have any more questions. I don't see any. And it's been 1 hour and 37 minutes. I think it's time for me to wish you all good night or good day wherever you are, and then we'll continue next time. Well, I see a couple of questions here. Masood asked a question. We can perhaps talk about it next time, Masood, if you don't mind. So it's time for me to say I love you all. Thank you very much for being here, giving me the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I hope you have a wonderful evening or day, depending on wherever you are. I'll try to have another one about 8 or 9 o'clock tonight, Vancouver time, and perhaps you will join me then. In the meantime, be good to yourself, to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Subscribe on my channel, visit my channel, and go through the videos that you might be interested in. Mind@seekstruth.com is making it one step away to talk to me one-on-one on Skype and discuss what's concerning you. I'll talk to you soon.